The tray hit first. Burger, fries, and a red sheet of ketchup burst across Malik Carter's gray hoodie and slid down his ribs with a wet sound that turned heads. A phone camera popped up before the stain finished spreading. Another followed. Not everyone laughed. Some did. Some flinched. A few looked at their hands. Chase Miller didn't crow or point. He leaned in, easy, the way you talk to a neighbor about lawn care. "Gray's boring, Carter," he said. "Consider it upgraded." Ava Brooks stepped between the nearest lens and Malik, shrugging off her own hoodie in one motion and holding it like a small curtain. "Back up," she said even. "Give him room. Napkins." Someone nudged her shoulder. A carton of strawberry milk tumbled, burst, and bled pink across the floor. The laughter came in sparks, not waves. A lunch lady took a step, stopped, and looked to the adults' table for a cue that never came. Malik stood. No words, no swing. He checked his breath once, steady enough to move. Ketchup beaded at his cuff and fell in slow drops. His eyes were clear and far away at the same time. A phone followed him. Another found a better angle. Someone whispered, "Got it." They called him Ketchup Boy. His silence wasn't empty. It was chosen. The cafeteria sound closed up as he walked, like water after a stone. Malik didn't hurry. He passed the pep rally posters, the glass case of trophies that threw the red back at him, the table of coaches who saw everything and nothing. At Magnolia Ridge High, Chase's varsity jacket opened doors. Teachers liked him for the small courtesies. He was polite until he wasn't, and never when it counted for adults. Ava kept pace. She held out paper napkins she'd taken from the dispenser. He took them, his knuckles brushing hers. She angled her body to block a phone that came hunting down the aisle. The kid with the phone veered off. Malik dabbed once. The stain moved but didn't leave. He folded the napkin into a smaller square and slipped it into his sleeve. Behind them, Chase and two teammates huddled over a screen, arguing in low voices. "Crop tighter." "Slow the splash." "Cut the tall girl." At the doorway, Malik paused just long enough to feel the room choose what the moment would be. Phones tilted, thumbs worked, heads bent. The choice was not his, but one thing still was: how he left. He stepped into the hall. The corridor's hum felt cleaner. The fluorescent bulbs ticked. He breathed once, simple. The smell of disinfectant and cut grass drifted in from the open end of the building. "Malik," Ava said, not grabbing his arm, not hovering. Just a name. Steady. He looked over. "I'm fine," he said. It wasn't a claim. It was a plan. She nodded. "Nurse has towels. Or air." "Air," he said. By the time they reached the stairs, the first clip had already left the room and picked up a caption. A sophomore, scrolling between periods, smirked at his screen and showed a friend. "When Gray meets Ketchup." Hearts popped. Laughing faces stacked. A second upload replayed the splash twice. A third didn't include Ava at all. "People will see the whole thing," Ava said, as if saying it might make it so. "They always do. Eventually." Malik didn't answer. He wasn't being rude. He was saving the words he had for the places they could matter. Inside the front office, Principal Harris was reviewing a flyer for the Dignity and Courage Assembly and discussing microphone placement. "We want something positive," he told the activities chair. "Keep things steady." On the gym side, a custodian mopped a pink arc and whistled half a tune. "Kids," he said to the bucket. The tune went on. Chase and his teammates cut a second version. "Tag the school," one said. "No, tag his name," another said. "He doesn't even use socials," the first replied. "That's the point," Chase said, and smiled without showing teeth. Ava reached the stairwell door and stopped. "Do you want me to walk you to class?" "I'm going to step outside," Malik said. She weighed that, then gave a small nod. "I'll send you the good clips when I find them." "Thanks." Malik pushed the bar and stepped into sun. The stadium sat quiet, metal bleachers catching light. He didn't go to them. He didn't need a stage, even an empty one. He needed a straight line and air. He set the napkin against the largest part of the stain and pressed. Red came up, faintly. He let the napkin fall into the trash can by the door. Back at the cafeteria threshold, 2 kids argued. "You're going to get in trouble if you post it." "It's already everywhere." Still. A third kid ended the debate with a thumb. The clip jumped again. Ava leaned against the wall and typed with quick, clean fingers. The caption she chose was not clever. It was accurate. He didn't swing. He didn't shout. He stood up and walked. She hit upload and exhaled. Malik looked down at his hoodie. The red would fade later, but not now. He could carry it for the rest of the day. He could carry worse. He turned toward his next class. The kitchen was small and bright. The sink was half filled. Grandma Lorraine, Grandma Lowe, held out a hand. "Let me see." Malik peeled off the gray hoodie. The stain had set into a dark red continent. She slid it under. Soap bloomed. Red lifted and swirled. "The stains will fade," she said, quiet. "Don't let anger set." He flinched. "Everybody keeps telling me how to feel." Her eyes showed a flash of hurt. "Everybody? Or me?" "I know you mean I don't mean well, Malik. I mean you." The cloth twisted too hard. Water slapped the counter. She stopped, breathed, and loosened her grip. "Sorry. I'm still learning to talk soft when the world talks hard." He nodded, not ready to forgive the day. "They filmed it." "I figured." "It's not just the splash," he said. "It's the joke they write after." "Like I wasn't there." She worked the stain with her thumbs. "When my till came up short once, they called me sweetheart at 10 a.m. and liar at noon. I forgave some days I didn't. That's the truth." It landed. Not magic. A scar. His phone lit on the table, then pulsed, then flooded. A storm of notifications rolled in at once. Group chats, tags, duets, stitches, edits, polls, strangers. Red font, Ketchup Boy, slow-mo splash, a siren sound effect. Comment stacking, swing next time, weak lol, a poll. Would you take that? Yes, 73%. A repost that cut Ava out completely. Knife emoji, ketchup bottle. A clip of a freshman squeezing 3 packets down a shirt with the caption "Ma dur." I share Ketchup Boy challenge. "Don't," Grandma said. "Not an order, a wish." He looked anyway, jaw set, then face down the phone. It buzzed under his palm like a trapped insect. "Give me that," she said. He didn't move. "Please, 5 minutes, I'll hold it for you." He slid it over. She set it screen down in the towel drawer and shut it. "We'll let the machine shout into cotton for a bit." He almost smiled. Almost. "School call?" he asked. "They left a message, gathering information." "Which is a long way to say we'd rather not see." She rinsed. The water flashed red again. "I'll go in tomorrow." "Don't." It came out too fast. "They'll pat your hand and read policies and send me back to class smelling like tomatoes." "I can stand a pat," she said. "And I can speak plain." She turned the hoodie. "I saw the boy I raised stand up without swinging. If they gather anything, they can gather that." He stared at the fabric. "I'm mad," he said, finally honest. "Good," she said. "It means you care who you are. Just don't feed the wrong thing." From the closed drawer, the phone rattled hard enough to make the wood hum. The storm hadn't slowed. A DM from an unknown. If you complain, you'll look soft. Another. Check this parody, bro. Another. Ava's posting the full clip. Wait. The kitchen seemed to tilt with the noise he couldn't hear. He stepped back from the sink and braced his hands on the counter. For a beat, he was 14 again, small and swallowed by the hallway. He caught himself, shoulders lowering. Not a speech, not a count out loud. Just one clean breath that made a little room. Grandma wrung the hoodie and handed him the hanger. "Son," she said. They went to the back stoop. She clipped the wet weight to the line. Evening laid a red edge across the cloth. A breeze lifted one sleeve and set it down again. "You ever want to hit somebody?" he asked. "Yes," she said, simple. "And I have said things that hit just as hard." She looked tired in the porch light. Mortal. "I don't wear halos, baby. I wear house shoes." He laughed once, short and grateful. The drawer rattled again. Another wave, stitches of the splash over a drum beat, a caption, "Do it for clout," a local trend page already blooming. A classmate he barely knew sent the link directly with a single word. Wild. A kid from biology wrote, "You okay?" Ava. "Full clip going up. Shows you didn't swing." "Pick one," Grandma said. "One what?" "One message to answer. One person to give your time." He thought, jaw still tight. "Ava," he said, "and the bio kid." "That'll do." He looked at the shirt on the line. The stain was lighter, not gone. He could live with lighter. Inside, she reopened the drawer and slid the phone across. 5 minutes are up. He read. He didn't watch the parodies. He typed to Ava. "Thank you." To the biology kid. "Not okay yet. Will be." He left the threats unread. "Eat," Grandma said, half joke, half order. Then the edge returned, sharp as a match. "And tomorrow I'm calling that school." He lifted his eyes. "Please don't go in there ready to fight." "I'll go in ready to finish a sentence," she said. "If fighting is the only language they hear, then I'll raise my voice. But I'll start with plain." He nodded. It wasn't surrender. It was strategy. The phone flashed again. Ava's upload. He didn't swing. He didn't shout. He stood up and walked. A few hearts appeared. A comment. Post the whole context. Another. Finally. Then pushback. He looked guilty. Should have fought. The storm had 2 winds. Grandma tapped the window. "Bring the hanger in after dark. Let the light do what it can." He stood with the cloth for a moment longer. He wasn't calm. He wasn't fixed. But the anger was not driving. Not tonight. The drawer, mercifully closed again, thudded once more. He let it. He watched the sleeve lift and fall, a small breathing thing in the last red of day. For anyone who has ever been given a name that wasn't theirs to carry, this story is for you. Stay to the end. Second period PE sun on the track. Shoes scraping. Whistles slicing the heat. Malek Carter lined up with the class, hoodie traded for a plain dark tee. He kept his hands loose, breath quiet, eyes forward. By the bleachers, 3 boys shook a strawberry milk carton like a rattle. One framed the shot, another counted down. They didn't throw at him. They threw at the lane he would hit in 5 steps. The carton burst into a pink star. Mist touched his shins as he ran through. Laughter flickered in pockets. Coach Reyes looked up, straight at Malik. "Eyes on pace. Carter, we run clean here." Then to the throwers. "Miller, Diaz, hydrate. Don't waste district property." Back to Malik. "If you're distracted, sit a rep." Everyone heard what clean meant. Ava Brooks kept her phone low and steady. She filmed the setup, not just the splash. "Knock it off," she told the boys, voice even. They grinned for her lens. Stations rotated. At the far corner, another carton arced high and missed, splashing the fence. Reyes turned just long enough to say, "Counts as hydrate. 10 burpees, Carter. Your mark was late." The boys laughed through their burpees. Malik jogged on. Because jogging meant guilty in the quick story some people like to tell. At water, Trey drifted beside him. Devin and Jamal shadowed a step back, like shade that moves. "We've been talking," Trey said, voice low. "3 options." Malik drank. "Go." "1," Trey said. "We do nothing and let the noise pick your name." "2," Devin added. "We run a clean counter, memes that punch up, make him mop the cafeteria on camera and smile doing it." "3," Trey said. "Auditorium steps after school. Witnesses, we ask for a correction on camera. Words, no hands unless he chooses hands." Malik thought a beat. "Yes to the stitch. I won't feed a fight. But I won't hide the truth either." Trey nodded once. Center stays centered. Ava raised her phone. I posted the full cafeteria context again. Better title. "Still crawling." "People like splash," Jamal muttered. "People learn," Trey said. "Sometimes slow." Reyes cut across them. "Brooks, eyes off screens. Carter, hustle or sit. Miller, pace looks good. Lead the next set." Chase tipped a salute. It wasn't talent. It was permission. They moved. The track kept circling people into each other. Malik stepped through laughter that sparked and died. A boy he barely knew jogged next to him for half a lap. Asked, "You good?" and peeled away before the answer could tie them together. On the back stretch, a freshman clipped a heel and pitched forward. Malik caught his elbow and kept his face off the asphalt. "You're good?" he said. The kid nodded hard and sprinted on. Under the scoreboard shade, Chase watched with Owen, the friend who shot most of his angles. Owen had caught the save on reflex. Zoomed tight on hand and elbow. "Did you get that?" Chase asked. "Got it," Owen said, then made a face he didn't mean to show. "Kind of decent, though. Plays well." "Decent?" Chase repeated, like the word tasted wrong. "Human," Owen tried again. "Makes him look steady." Chase's smile thinned. Control lived in the laugh. A steady center didn't laugh. It absorbed. He opened his phone, framed Malik tying his shoe. Same minute, no context. He typed acting innocent after the hit and saved it to drafts. Not yet. He wanted the next move to make the caption write itself. Pairs reset. Reyes called, "Carter with Diaz." Diaz drifted close without touching. Legal meanness. On the straightaway, Malik opened a half shoe of space, owned his line, didn't flinch. "See that?" Reyes called. "That's composure. Learn it." To some, it sounded like praise. To others, like permission to push more. Jamal's eyes still burned. "If he tries you, if he tries him," Trey said, "we stop him, and we stop you. Today's not for fire." Across the field, Owen scratched his cheek. "People like steady," he murmured almost to himself. Chase heard it. Something in his jaw set. "Then we don't film steady," he said. "We film surrender. Public place. Cameras rolling. I go first. I apologize for any misunderstanding. If he accepts, he's weak. If he pushes back, he's ungrateful. Either way, comments land where I want." Owen hesitated. "Or it flips." "Not if Reyes blesses it," Chase said. "Not if I choose the spot. Locker room bell. Bleach. Tape. Steam." Malik pulled on the hoodie Grandma had washed. The stain showed faint like a coastline after rain. A kid at the next locker said, Don't wear that. Gives them ideas. It gives me memory, Malik said. He wasn't trying to be deep. He was staying oriented. They spilled into the hallway stream. Ava matched his stride. Yearbook says they'll cut a clean truth tonight. Good, he said. You don't have to handle the rest alone. I know, he said. It just feels like it here. Behind them, under the shade, Chase checked his draft again. Owen's words kept ringing. People like steady. Fine. He would make steady look like surrender. After school, Chase told his crew. Auditorium steps. What's the play? One asked. The kind where doing the right thing reads wrong. They nodded, not fully knowing, trusting the current. Malik paused at the threshold. He could join Trey and make heat that burned for a day. He could vanish and let others talk for him. He chose the third path, walk forward, tell the truth clean, let the quiet carry weight. He stepped into class. Evening leaned warm across the block. Malik Carter took the long way home, hood up, phone on, silent. His right pocket held a small folding knife he'd slipped from the kitchen drawer. Cold, easy to hide, heavy in a way metal shouldn't be. At the corner, a man in faded flannel worked a leaning fence. Hammer, coffee can of screws, silver hair cropped close. Malik knew the face. Most mornings, the man watered the strip of grass. Once he'd held the gate while Grandma Lowe climbed the steps with grocery bags and said, "Ma'am," like a habit, not a performance. "Afternoon," the man said, eyes on the board. Malik nodded, kept moving. "Watch that crack," the man added. "You nearly ate it there last Tuesday." Malik looked down. The sidewalk split clean where the man said. So, he'd seen Malik before, not just today. Malik stepped over and stopped. The man straightened, set the hammer aside. "Name's Whitaker." "Malik." "Figured," Whitaker said. "Your grandma calls you that when you beat her to the door." "I'm 3 houses down. Loud mower the neighborhood hates? That's me." A corner of Malik's mouth moved. "Yeah, that's you." Whitaker's gaze slid to Malik's right pocket. "You're carrying something you don't usually carry." "Do you stop every kid who walks past your fence?" Malik asked. "No," Whitaker said. "Just the ones who look like they're rehearsing a bad idea." "That what I look like?" "Today, yeah." "I was a Marine," he said, "like you'd list a job on a form. Been out a long time. Thought leaving the uniform would drain the heat out. It didn't." Malik lifted his chin. "Tell me something real then." "Not a line for a poster." Whitaker nodded, accepting the test. 6 months after I got out, a guy bumped me in a bar and said "sir" in a way that meant the opposite. I swung first, broke 2 knuckles on his cheekbone, felt big for 10 seconds and stupid for a year. My wife iced my hand and didn't talk to me till morning. The hole I punched in our hollow door cost me more than the beer. Malik's eyes dropped to Whitaker's knuckles. Faint, old scars. Not a story, a receipt. "I'm not looking for trouble," Malik said. "I believe you," Whitaker said. "But your jaw's clenched and your right hand's been shaking since the corner. Whatever's in that pocket is making it worse, not better." Malik took the knife out, kept it closed. The sun hit the spine and threw a thin orange line across both their faces. "Say I hand this to you. What do I get back?" "Not a sermon," Whitaker said. "A trade. You give me that. I teach you how to stand up without giving yourself away, and I walk the minute you swing because it feels good." "Why me?" Malik asked. "Because I've seen you on this sidewalk 100 times," Whitaker said. You caught Mrs. Gonzalez's cat off the trash can last week and pretended you didn't. And today your shoulders look borrowed from somebody I used to be. Malik held the knife between finger and thumb like a coin. How do I know you won't teach me to be you? You don't, Whitaker said. So start small. Give me the blade for 5 minutes. If I start performing, take it back and walk. It was so plain. It felt safe. Malik set the knife in the open palm. Whitaker didn't pocket it. He folded it and placed it on the fence post between them, beside the hammer and the nail can, where both could see. Now you, Whitaker said. 2 steps back. Stand easy. Malik stepped back. Like this? Drop your shoulders an inch, Whitaker said. Good. Lift the ribs a hair. That's space. You own it. You didn't steal it. 2 kids biked by and stared. No jokes came. It was just a boy standing like the ground belonged to him, too. What's first lesson? Malik asked. Breath you can use with eyes on you, Whitaker said. Hands where a lens reads control, not threat. Feet that don't shout or beg. And leaving early when the math says it's going nowhere good. He tapped the folded knife. This isn't evil. It's a tool. So is anger. Left in the wrong hands, both break the house. Malik nodded, then shook his head. What if I mess up? Then you tell me before you do, Whitaker said. If you can't, you tell me after. We fix what we can. But if you swing because it feels good, I'm done. Fair, Malik said. A car rolled past with base low. The sunset slid lower on the knife, orange going soft. Malik looked at his right hand. The tremor had eased. Not calm. Steady. Tomorrow? Here, Whitaker said. After school. No fee, just work. He turned toward home. Habit made his hand check the pocket. It met air. The space felt like room. At the end of the block, he paused, looked back. Whitaker had already picked up the hammer. The head found a nail and drove it straight. 1, 2. Malik faced forward and walked. Saturday morning carried the hush before a choice. Malik Carter stood by Whitaker's fence again. The dirt square was small, 2 posts, a shade line, enough ground to stand and learn. Feet shoulder width, Whitaker said. Weight even. Don't lean for the next moment. Own this one. Malik set his stance. It wobbled, then held. Close your eyes, Whitaker said. Head, jaw, shoulders, ribs. Where it's tight, let breath loosen the knot. Not a trick, a tool. Air went in. The buzz under Malik's ribs eased. You do this while somebody talks wild, Whitaker added. Not because they're right, because your breath keeps your voice. They worked. Step, shift, breathe, until a car horn tugged Malik out of the quiet. Ava stood at the corner, phone in hand. Mind if I record? She asked. Whitaker glanced at Malik. Your call. Okay, Malik said. No slow motion. They worked. Step, shift, breathe, until a car horn tugged Malik out of the quiet. Ava stood at the corner, phone in hand. Whitaker glanced at Malik. Your call. Okay, Malik said. No slow motion. As Ava filmed, Whitaker stepped close. We test here without reacting. He spoke a sentence Malik had heard before, not a slur. A small cut dressed as advice. Keep your head down, son. You don't want trouble. It landed aim deep. Malik's shoulders climbed, breath forgot itself, hands balled. He stepped wrong, heel sliding, and caught himself on the post. Fail your beat, Whitaker said, not unkind. Good. Now we know where the floor is. Ava lowered her phone. Do we post that? Post it, Malik said, surprising himself. Make it human. She did. The cut was honest. Stance, stumble, reset, breath. She titled it, From Victim to Student. Or Ketchup Boy No More. The comments split down the middle. Respect for showing the miss. See? He's weak learning on camera takes more guts than fighting pretty edits won't save him. Owen saw the clip by the vending machines. When Chase asked, "You get anything good?" Owen shrugged like he'd forgotten how to aim. By evening, Ketchup Boy no more crept past the cafeteria parodies in one small corner of the feed. Not big, solid, a gym reposted with breath before you break. A guidance counselor commented using this Wednesday. Right below it, still looks soft to me. They trained longer. Whitaker added turns. Read the space. And a small hand position that looked like nothing but felt like control. Hands. Where a camera sees steady, not threat, Whitaker coached. Chin level, eyes open. If the crowd wants a flinch and you won't sell one, they get bored. Elsewhere, the group laugh accounts felt their numbers dip. Chase watched his latest post stall. The line that used to surge now crawled. He tapped refresh as if anger could conjure metrics. It couldn't. "People are moving on," Owen said, not looking up from nothing. "Then we move them back," Chase said. "Calm won't trend when we push." Night brought porch cool. Malik sat with Grandma low. The phone brimmed with the day's split verdict. He set it face down. "You breathing?" Grandma asked. "Yeah." "Good." A buzz got through. "Ava, yearbook stitches ready by morning." Another. "Trey, steps are open after school. Words first if you want." Malik typed back. "I'll be there. Not for a show." He looked toward the fence line. The posts were just wood, but they felt like markers on a road he could actually walk. Chase Miller waited near the planters, a strawberry milk carton in his hand. "Carter," he said lightly. "Uniform check." He threw. The carton hit square. Pink red burst across Malik's chest. Phones rose like a second sky. Malik moved in, not to hit, to stop. He caught Chase's wrist, turned his hips, guided the arm down, and let go. "Back up," he said, calm, flat, 2 beats. The freshman cameraman dipped his lens to check something, then lifted it again. The release lived in the gap he didn't record. Ava reached them, phone down by her leg. "You good?" "I'm good," Malik said, eyes on hands, not faces. By last bell, a tight clip sprinted across feeds. Malik's hand on Chase's wrist. Milk like blood. No release. Captions chose sides for everyone. Black teen attacks, Ketchup Boy snaps, sirens, and knives in emoji rows. In the main office, Principal Harris's voice was polished to safe. "We're placing you on a short suspension while we gather information. This is procedural." "I let go," Malik said, "and I expect more videos will surface. Which is why we need a pause." Ava stepped in. "I have the full angle. It shows the throw and the release." Harris kept his eyes on Malik. "I have to consider the well-being of all students." It was PR without the visitor's badge. Ava laughed once, dry. "Privacy started caring after the wrong clip went viral?" "Ms. Brooks," Harris said, "I recommend you hold any posts until our review concludes." Malik looked at the milk on his shirt, then at Harris's careful posture. "Good to know you're moving fast," he said, tone mild. "Shame the video editor moves faster." Harris pressed his lips. "You may go home, Malik. We'll contact your guardian." Ava posted anyway. He stopped when he could have destroyed. Full context, the pushback was instant. Her DMs turned mean in a way that knew her. Screenshots of her choir program, a photo of her bike behind the church, an audio clip of her debate team sign-up time. She locked her account, then unlocked it because locked truth didn't travel. The school PR emailed her and the yearbook advisor. "Pause dissemination," Pending administration guidance. The clean stitch still went up from a student account that owed no one an email. Throw, catch, release, step back, no music, only courtyard air. Slower views, better shoes. At home, Grandma Lowe opened the door before Malik touched the knob. One look at the stain and the set of his mouth told her most of it. "They sent you home," she said. "Procedural," he answered. She breathed out, rough. "Truth walks slower than lies," she said, "but it doesn't get tired as quick." He almost smiled. "I left his wrist where it started." "I figured," she said. The kitchen felt smaller. His phone rattled. Headlines piled. Black teen attacks. In the middle row, the clean stitch from a student account inched up. Comments split between respect and case closed. His screen flashed. Trey. Auditorium steps after school. Words only. Witnesses present. We're there for you if you're there for you. Malik. Suspended. Trey. Then steps become sidewalk. Still words. He set the phone down. His hands were steady. Not calm. Steady. Mini payoff intact. He'd kept control where the clip insisted he hadn't. Grandma Lowe touched the hoodie. "Leave it a while," she said. "Let the reminder do its work before the soap does." He nodded. Night leaned in. The feed kept spitting verdicts. The slow clip walked on. Ava called. "They've started a thread about my choir solo tomorrow," she said, voice thin but held. "Times door, everything." "Want me there?" Malik asked. "Yes," she said. Then, after a breath, "Bring the fence guy if he'll come." Malik texted Whitaker. "Choir at 6. Some folks playing close." Whitaker. "I'll stand where you can see me." "You stand where you can see you." Before sleep, Malik watched the clean stitch once more. The decisive moment wasn't heroic. It was small. Pressure, guidance, release. He had done that. No edit could erase what his hand remembered. Sunday came in thin and sideways. In the kitchen, Grandma Lowe set a mug down and missed the edge. Porcelain kissed tile and wobbled. "I'm fine," she said, catching the chair arm. "Church." They walked slow to the small brick church with red glass windows. Inside, the sanctuary felt like a breath someone had already taken for you. The pastor didn't preach a fight. He prayed one sentence you could carry in a pocket. "Lord, let truth stand up on its own legs." Ava slipped into the pew beside them, folder under her arm. "I think I found the continuous file," she whispered. "The freshman cameraman's phone auto-backs up to a school drive he forgot to lock. Time-stamped. No gaps. You can see the release and you can hear you say it." "How did you find that?" Malik asked. "Owen left a sticky note on the vending machine," she whispered. "No name. He's scared." During the hymn, red light washed the pews. Malik watched Grandma's lips move like she was telling herself small instructions for living. Across town, Whitaker found Alan Miller at the hardware store. The recognition was old and awkward. "Your boy all right?" Whitaker asked, skipping the small talk. "Depends which video you watch," Miller answered, defensive. Whitaker scratched his eyebrow with a scarred knuckle. "I'm not here to point. I'm saying I've regretted the 10 seconds that cost me a year." Miller's mouth tugged. "He told me the other kid grabbed him." "Your boy threw first," Whitaker said, gentler than it sounded. "I saw the angle no one cut." Miller stared at the gum rack. "If I say that out loud, they'll eat him." "If you don't say it at home," Whitaker said, "he'll chew it himself for years. I've watched that too." Miller nodded once, like agreeing with gravity. Whitaker set a card on the counter, not pushed, just placed. "Auditorium steps tomorrow. Words first. If you want a place to stand, stand there." Miller picked up the card like it might sting, paid for screws, and apologized to the cashier for taking too long because people do ordinary things when their head is changing. After the benediction, she posted the continuous clip, full angle, no music, listen to the air. He stops. He lets go. He stopped. It didn't roar. It trudged. A church auntie shared. A teacher with quiet followers shared. The crowd didn't flip. It bent. Under reposts, comments fought it out. There's the release verse who's still grabbed first. Some users deleted their old takes. Some doubled down. By late afternoon, the yearbook stitch added continuous audio. You could hear Malik's back up. That sentence made a few users delete their own. Dusk put long shadows on the auditorium steps. Trey, Devin, and Jamal stood with Malik. Ava filmed wide, no cuts. A few teachers said they were just passing by. Students ringed the lawn in an untidy circle. Owen hovered near a hedge, his backpack zipped, hands restless. He'd helped a little and was terrified of helping more. That counted. Whitaker took a place by the rail, not center. Malik stood beside him, not behind. Mr. Miller walked up like a man late to his own appointment. No speech, just his face. He looked at Whitaker, at Malik, at his son. "I told him to tell me all of it at the kitchen table," Miller said, voice dry. "He did. Now he'll say it where it counts." Chase swallowed. He looked at the phones, at the grass, at his father's hand. "I threw it," he said. "He grabbed my wrist. He let go." No angles. Useful. The lawn didn't cheer. It shifted, a low murmur of people negotiating with themselves. Owen drifted by Ava without eye contact and slid a thumb drive into her tote with a scrap of paper attached. Raw roll. Use if it helps. His hands shook as he walked away. Grandma Lowe reached the bottom step and sat, steady again. She spoke softly to anyone near enough to borrow it. Truth finally found its walking shoes. Mr. Miller didn't pose for a camera. He put a hand on Chase's shoulder and kept it there. Not as a shield, as a weight the boy would have to grow under. Whitaker nodded once, the way you nod when the hard thing finally begins. Phones recorded, but quieter. The story didn't end. It faced the right way. That night, the comment sections were lumpy and human. Release heard. Changes it. Not ready to forgive, but facts are facts. Teach your sons to value their lives. I said some wild stuff yesterday. Deleting it. On the porch, evening red went to gold, then to a color you don't name. Malik breathed and felt the breath make room. "Tomorrow," he said. "Tomorrow," Grandma Lowe answered, and the word didn't feel like a cliff anymore. Malik showed up at the fence on time, no speech, hands open, shoulders low. "Anger touched me again," he said. "Where?" Whitaker asked. "Jaw, throat, middle of the chest." "Good," Whitaker said. "Pointing is better than pretending." He didn't warm up the moment with talk. "Body scan, short form, eyes open or closed. Your call." "Open," Malik said. Whitaker's voice went simple. "Scan and name." Malik's eyes closed. "Head, buzzing, jaw, tight, throat, hot, chest, heavy. Hands ready for nothing specific." "Name the big one in the chest." "Anger." "What's under it?" "Humiliation." "Anything else?" "Payback," Malik said, quieter. "Now breathe through the middle," Whitaker said. "Not to erase it. To give it room that isn't the whole room. In, out, no counting." Ribs lifted and settled, the edges dulled, but they were still edges. "Test," Whitaker said, stepping close. "Keep your head down, son. You don't want trouble." Heat jumped. Malik's jaw climbed. Hands clenched. His voice came out too fast. "Back!" He caught himself. "Back up!" I flinched. Malik said, frustrated. And you didn't swing, Whitaker said. Welcome to practice. He rubbed the pale scars over his knuckles. Forgiveness is the fight I never won. There's a man I still argue with in my head. If he stood here, I might lose again. So when I coach you, hear a man who's still failing pop quizzes. So when I coach you, hear a man who's still passing and failing pop quizzes. That landed cleaner than a speech. Reset, Whitaker said. Feet shoulder width, knees unlocked, chin level, hands where a camera reads steady, not threat. Do not posture. Do not shrink. Reset, Whitaker said. Feet shoulder width, chin level. Breathe through the center. No story, only air. They ran the test again. Same line, same tone. This time Malik's hand stayed open. The jaw still clicked once. He said, level but thinner than he wanted, back up. The word landed. Enough. I still wanted to, Malik admitted. That's progress, Whitaker said. Wanting without obeying. Mini payoff, Whitaker said. You named it. You stayed. You didn't run from the sting. It still stings, Malik said. It may always sting, Whitaker said. We're not numbing. We're navigating. Respect for keeping the Miss voice cracked, LOL still calmer than I'd be rehearsed learning on camera, takes more guts than swinging Whitaker kept them off the screen. One more lap, he said. Short scan, name, breath, turn. Malik did it. This time when he said back up, it carried the size of his body, not the size of the crowd he imagined. The jaw still clicked, a tiny tell. He noticed and didn't chase it away. Where's the anger now? Whitaker asked. Malik checked. In the back seat, he said. Seatbelt on. Good, Whitaker said. Take it home. Don't let it drive. They touched fists, light. Not a coronation, a receipt. On the porch steps, Grandma Lowe looked him over once. Wind's changed, she said. A bit, Malik said. Enough for tonight. He turned toward the door. Behind him, the fence caught the last light and let it go without a fuss. The day before the assembly, Malik found Chase behind the gym, just two boys by the same wall that had once held the stain. Chase sat with his elbows on his knees, unopened milk carton between his shoes. You still doing that speech? He asked. Yeah, Malik said. You? My dad says I should go. Chase kicked a pebble. Guess I owe you one. You don't owe me, Malik said. Just show up. After a long pause, Chase added, when the clip blew up, I liked the attention. I didn't mean it to go that far. Malik nodded. I know. It's what you do after that counts. The next day, the gym was warm with stage lights and paper banners that read, Dignity and Courage Assembly. Rows of folding chairs, a low hum of curiosity. Malik stood at the podium. Most of you know me as Ketchup Boy, he began, a ripple of nervous laughter. He smiled, steady. It's fair. Ketchup sticks. He lifted a bottle from the stand. But ketchup's made from tomatoes, crushed, pressed, mixed with heat and time until it's something new. That's us too. Same fruit, different flavor. The room stilled. Phones lowered. I used to think being calm meant weak, he said. Turns out silence can say, you don't get to write my story. He looked toward the crowd. I met Chase yesterday. No cameras, no hashtags. We both owned our parts. Turns out forgiveness isn't soft. It's heavy. You lift it every day until it stops shaking. From the back row, Chase raised his eyes. Not proud. Present. We all get squeezed, Malik said. By rumor, by anger, by what people post before they ask. But dignity? Dignity's what you have when you don't return the hit. The crowd didn't move. except for Grandma Lowe's slow nod under her red scarf, Whitaker's faint smile from the door, Ava's camera resting still in her lap. Malik's final words were quiet. Ketchup washes off. Gossip does too. What stays is how you stood while it was on you. Applause started uncertainly, then grew, not loud, but honest. Principal Harris climbed the stage, tie a little crooked. "Mr. Carter," he said. "That was thoughtful." He paused for effect. "We're starting a peer dignity leaders program. I'd like you involved. Your story could help promote our school's values." Malik caught the phrasing. Promote, not heal. Still, he nodded. If it helps someone, sure. Harris smiled for the audience, not for him. But as Malik stepped down, students reached out. A touch on the arm, a nod, small gestures that mattered more than any title. The noise of applause faded into something steadier. Listening. It wasn't victory. It was permission to breathe. Afternoon light slanted against the cafeteria wall, the one that had once run red. Malik returned with a bucket. No crowd, no speech. He scrubbed in slow arcs, the stain fading from crimson to a soft amber hue. Behind him, quiet footsteps. Owen, no cap, no camera. "Couldn't leave it to you alone," he said. Malik smiled faintly. "Didn't think you'd come back. Didn't think I'd want to." Owen picked up the second sponge. "I cut the first clip. I told myself it didn't matter. It did." Malik kept scrubbing. "We both filmed something we didn't finish right." "Guess we're editing it now," Owen said. They worked side by side until the red dissolved into the wall, not gone, just blended with the afternoon gold. Whitaker leaned against his truck across the lot, watching but not interrupting. Grandma Lowe waved once from her porch, scarf catching the breeze like a flag that had seen enough battles. When the bucket emptied, Owen looked at the wall. "You missed a spot." Malik smiled. "Good. Keeps us honest." He wrung out the sponge, water dripping clear onto the concrete. The wall gleamed faintly, not perfect, but peaceful. A faint ghost of red still shimmered under the gold light, like memory refusing to vanish entirely. Malik noticed it and didn't mind. Some marks were meant to stay, to remind, not accuse. He stood, bucket in hand, watching the sunlight bend over the clean patch that wasn't perfect. Then he turned and walked away, leaving the wall, the water, and the last of the light behind him. For everyone who turned humiliation into honor and kept walking. If a story can remind someone to stop, to breathe, to forgive, then justice has already begun. Thank you for listening. You can find more stories like this on JusticeSoul, not for views, for peace.